Students, in this video, very quickly we are going to revise D and F block elements. Let us start with the D block elements. We know D block elements are commonly called as transition elements, and here the added electrons means the last electron enters in n-1 d orbital, and the general electronic configuration is noble gas n-1 d 1 to 10 ns 1 to 2. And in the periodic table, the position of transition elements between S and P block group from group 3 to 12, you can find transition elements. And in transition elements, we can find a partially filled d orbital either in the atomic state or in the oxidation state. Then only we can consider them as a transition elements if they have partially filled d orbital either in the oxidation state or in the atomic state. You can see the electronic configuration of some of the transition elements, d block elements. Scandium, you can find partially filled d orbital. Iron, here also you can find partially filled d orbitals. We know the capacity of d orbital is 10 electrons, so 10 electrons there means completely filled. So chromium and copper shows exceptional electronic configuration because of d5 and d10 stability. They have shown exceptional electronic configuration, whereas we need to remember that zinc, the last element of 3d series with atomic number 30, it shows 3d10 means completely filled d orbital. That's why zinc of 3d series, cadmium of 4d series, and mercury of 5d series, these three elements are considered as non-transitional element because of fully filled d orbital. And because of the number of more unpaired electron in transition elements, the melting point and boiling point is very high due to unpaired electrons. And in case of zinc, cadmium and mercury, they have low melting point and boiling point because the d orbital is completely filled and unpaired electrons are less in them. Then if you talk about the ionization energy, it is very high in zinc, mercury and cadmium because they show stable electronic configuration. And in case of oxidation state, transition element shows variable oxidation state due to more number of unpaired electrons. If they lose the electrons of s orbital, they show minimum oxidation state. If they lose s orbital electrons as well as d orbital electrons, they show maximum oxidation state. So highest oxidation state we can find +8 in OS and RU, and scandium shows only +3 and zinc shows only +2 oxidation state. And in case of mercury, except mercury, all the transition elements are solid in state. All of them are solid in state. Tungsten has highest melting point and mercury has lowest melting point. And in 3d series, manganese shows maximum oxidation state, highest oxidation state up to +7. And the magnetic moment of the transition element can be calculated by spin only formula, that is mu root of n into n plus 2 bm. Bm is the unit Bohr's magneton and small n is the number of unpaired electrons. So if there is a number of unpaired electron, that is paramagnetism, and there is no unpaired electron, diamagnetic property we can find. And magnetic moment increases as the number of unpaired electron increases. And we have one formula to calculate the n, that is number of unpaired electron. So we have taken 3d series as an example. Atomic number minus oxidation state minus atomic number of organ. This is for 3d series. If we get number of unpaired electron between 1 to 5, so that is indicating the number of unpaired electron. If the n value is more than 5, then to calculate the number of unpaired electron we have to subtract from 10. Let us have some examples. In case of manganese ion Mn2 plus, atomic number of manganese is 25, minus 2 is the oxidation state, and 18 is the atomic number of argon. If you calculate the number of unpaired electron, we get 5. Whereas in copper ion Cu2 plus, to find out the number of unpaired electron, take the atomic number of copper 29, oxidation state is 2, argon atomic number is 18, we get 9. So here as the value of n is more than 10, the more than 5, so we have to subtract from 10, we will get 1 as the number of unpaired electron. And because of the d to d transition of those unpaired electron, the transition element ions are colored, basically colored. And if the oxidation state of transition element is +1, +2 and +3, they are generally basic in nature. If it is +4, they are amphoteric. If it is +5, +6, +7 and +8, they are basically acidic in nature. And transition element shows catalytical property because of variable oxidation state, because of partially filled d orbital, and because of more adsorption power. And remember, interstitial compounds are those compounds in which the smaller atoms like hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, they are going to trap in the cavities of transition elements. Like that, interstitial compounds are going to form, which are basically harder than the pure transition metal, and they are basically chemically inert in nature. And F block elements, commonly called as inner transition elements, they includes lanthanides and actinides. Lanthanides from atomic number 58 to 71, actinides from atomic number 90 to 103. So between lanthanides and actinides, we find some points are common, that is +3 common oxidation state. Both are electropositive, that's why they are the strong reducing agents. And most of the ions of lanthanides and actinides are colored, and cations having unpaired electron, they are paramagnetic in nature. And both lanthanides and actinides, they show contraction. Both lanthanides and actinides shows contraction, means decrease in the atomic size because of improper shielding effect. Now the dissimilarities between lanthanides and actinides, both shows +3 oxidation state. In addition to that, lanthanide has +2 and +4 common oxidation state. Actinides have +4, +5 and +6. The complex formation formed by lanthanides less, whereas more in case of actinides. The oxides and hydroxides of lanthanides are less basic, whereas in actinides they are more basic. In lanthanides, all are non-radioactive except PM, whereas actinides, all of them are radioactive. If you see potassium permanganate, manganese shows +7 oxidation state, and potassium permanganate is a strong oxidizing agent because it will decrease its oxidation state. By decreasing its oxidation number, it is going to act as a oxidizing agent. So remember, permanganate formula is MnO4 minus, manganate MnO4 2 minus. So if you treat potassium permanganate with acidic medium, then the +7 oxidation state decreases to +2, and if you treat with neutral solution, +7 changes to +4, and basic means from +7 to +6. Then acidified potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 is also a good oxidizing agent. So you can see here how it is going to oxidize these H2S, Fe2 plus and I minus, and after oxidation it will convert to green color Cr3 plus ion.